Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I want to do a quick tutorial on the mini Folio. I did a project share of this and I had asked you if y'all wanted me to do a tutorial. I had a couple people that were interested in it, and so I am going to do this tutorial. This here is 8.5 by 5 inches. It has a 1/4 inch gusset, and it includes a accordion album inside of it. And so this is exactly what I'm going to show you in the tutorial. I am also creating one with the 1/2 inch gusset, but I'm still trying to work out the measurements on that. So here are a couple things that you're going to need. You're going to need some double-sided tape, a ruler, or the one I'm using is a T-squared ruler, a bone folder. You don't absolutely need a paper piercer, but this is what I use to peel up my double-sided tape. You're going to need magnets or Velcro. I do not have any magnets, so I will be using Velcro in the 3/8 inch. These are the thin clear fasteners, and you can get these at Walmart. I'm using some wet glue. I love using Fabri-Tac, so that is what I will be using. Scissors, cardstock. The cardstock I will be working with is Astro Bright cardstock. It is 8.5 by 11, and you can get this at Walmart also. Also, you will need pattern paper of some sort. I'm using a 12 by 12 pattern paper. It's called the Dark Floral, and it is from Michaels. It's one of the hot buys. You also will need a scoreboard and a paper trimmer. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut down our paper for the water folio. You're going to need 4 pieces of the 8.5 by 11 inch paper. You need your trimmer, your paper trimmer, and you're going to cut this down on the 11 inch side at 10 inches. So once again, you're going to get your 8.5 by 11 on the 11 inch side. You're going to cut at 10 inches. And you're going to continue that with all 4 of your paper. Okay. Now you have 4 sheets of paper that measures 8.5 by 10 inches. You can put your paper trimmer away for now. Now you're going to get 2 pieces of the 8.5 by 11. You need your double-sided tape. You can use wet glue if you would like. I am using the double-sided tape, so I can use it as a guide for my paper. So you're going to get your 1/4 inch tape, and as closely as you can to the edge, you're going to put your double-sided tape all the way down. With your scissors, you're going to cut it. might be some overhang, so I'm just going to cut that off. I want to burnish this down. Now you're going to get your 8.5 by 11. On the 8.5 inch side, you're going to use this 1/4 inch as a gusset, and you're going to line it up as perfectly as you can along that 1/4 inch, that 1/4 inch guide right there. So now you'll have an extra long sheet of paper. Now that you have attached your two 8.5 by 11 sheet papers, you are going to need to grab out your you want to grab out your scoreboard. And we're going to now score our paper. So you're just gonna butt it up against your scoreboard. The one I'm using is ScorePal. So your first score is going to be at 5. You're then gonna score at 5.25. This is going to be our 1/4 inch gusset. We're gonna have a 1/4 inch gusset, and the gusset is this part here. So I am in the process of trying to create another one. Let me see if I can find it for you. I had it somewhere, and now I have no idea where I put it. Oh, here it is. So I'm in the process of doing this one. I did notice when I created this that the 1/4 inch gusset was a little bit too small for my accordion. A 1/4 inch gusset will work if you're not doing as many pockets as I did, which is what I cut down on when we created the when we cut the 8.5 by 10 pages down. So I know I did or am creating one with a 1/2 inch, but I'm still trying to get the measurements down. It's pretty much just going to be the same thing. You'll just be scoring, you'll do 5, 5.5, 10.5, 11, and so on, if you want a bigger gusset. So now we're going to, so we did our 5 inch, our 5.25. Now we're going to go to our 10.25. And we're going to score there. Then we're going to go to 10.5 and score at 10.5. And then what you want to do is you're going to want to fold on that last 1/4 inch that we just scored. Now that you have your paper folded, we're going to butt it up against our scoreboard again. And we are going to score at, and you want to make sure it's all the way up. You want to score at 5, 5.25, And that will be your last fold because we're going to cut the excess off. So now we can fold. Let's fold our mini folio. There we go. Okay, now that you're folded, this is going to be your excess paper. And what you want to do is you're going to get your scoreboard. And when I created mine, I cut mine down to 4 inches wide. That I just kind of wanted a little bit showing. You can cut it to 5 inches and it could be completely covering the front cover, or you can make it shorter. It's this part here is all personal preference. So I'm going to do it exactly how I created this one. So I'm going to put this in my trimmer. And you're going to want to, so you're going to put it in your trimmer to where the folded line, or the score line here, and you're going to, the second score line right here, if you can see it, so this score line right here is what you're going to use to measure, or to line up to the 4 inches, so that you know you're cutting exactly 4 inches off. And there you go. Now we can set this aside, and we're going to get out our pieces that we cut to 10 inches. So get your scoreboard back out. On the 10-inch side, you're going to score at 5 inches. So you're going to score at 5. And I do it a couple times because paper is kind of thick. And you're going to continue scoring at the 5-inch mark until you're done. Scoring all of your papers. Now that you have all of your paper scored, you're going to now fold them. And what we're creating here is our accordion album. And the accordion album is this part right here. So I'm just going to continue folding my paper. Until I'm all done. Okay. Now it is time to assemble our accordion album. So the idea, or how I do my accordion album, is what you're going to do is you're going to add glue adhesive, wet adhesive onto this part, and you're going to adhere it to the front of this flap. And then you're going to continue doing that, alternating them. So you can see how it starts to form the accordion. I'm going to walk you through it. So you're going to get your red adhesive. You can use double-sided tape, but I prefer wet glue because it gives me time to move it around if I don't line it up correctly. Okay. Now, I'm gonna add it, and I want to make sure that my paper is up to the score line, but not over it. So you see how it's up to the score line, but it's not going over it. That way, my paper can still. So that way, it's not overlapping and I can still close my flap. Get my brayer. Make sure. Perfect. And there, and you can kind of see how it's already kind of forming. So once again, I'm going to add my adhesive. And I'm going to adjust it, like I said, making sure it's up to the score line but not over it. And what I love about the Fabri-Tac glue is that if it comes out from the edges, I can easily just get my glue eraser and erase it away. And I don't have to worry about it being seen once it dries. Let's see. Okay. And there you see my album forming. And our last part is said here, our last page. So we're just gonna once again add adhesive. And there you have your accordion album. So now you can decide what way you want your flap to open. So you can have it open this way or this way. I personally like to have it open the way you would read in a book. So, and this part here, you can attach it to any of the flaps besides the 4-inch flaps. You can add it to any of these 3 flaps. I like adding it to this flap right here. So I'm going to use my adhesive one more time. You can use double-sided tape, but as I stated before, I like using the wet glue because it gives me time to adjust. I know when I created my first folio, I used double-sided tape and wasn't able to adjust it. So I'm going to add it up to the score line. Okay. Open here. Making sure it's up to the score line but not overlapping. That way it can still close my album. Okay. And there. Some adhesive leaked out, so there we go. Now that it is attached, it closes perfectly. As you can see. If you see any adhesive, you can rub it off with your finger, or I just like to use my glue eraser. Okay. And now all we have left to do is decorating our flats. And like I said, I will be using the dark floral paper pack from Michaels. Now we're ready to decorate our covers. And so what you're going to do is get the paper pad that you want. We will start out with doing the cover first. And what you're going to want to measure your paper. So I kind of already have an idea of what I want. I'm just going to open up. Okay. Let's see. I really want this gold. And I'm thinking maybe okay. So this is the gold that I will be using, and right now I'm just going to do this cover and the back. And so our back mat measures 5.5 or 5 inches, sorry. So it's 5 inches by 8.5. So I'm going to cut my paper to about 4 3/4. So I find it's easiest to do the length or the width, which is going to be 8.5 So we're gonna do 8 1/4. Yeah, 8 1/4. It's gonna be our height. Now we do our 4 3/4. And we're gonna cut this at 4 3/4 again. Four 3/4. So I got my 2 back pieces. And so it fits perfectly. So we can adhere on our okay. Now we can open this up and do our inside cover. I don't know what is going on, but my tape runner is acting funny today. Okay. Now I want to find a coordinating paper that will go with this, and I have picked one out, and looks like it's gonna be too small, so I'm gonna use this for my pocket page, and I might just end up using this piece. So this is the leftover piece from the 12 by 12, and so now I'm just gonna cut it to 8 1/4. Okay. So this, let's see what this measures to. So this is about 3 1/4. So this is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. Okay, so there we go. Our back, and then our front pocket. So now we can do our inside. So now we're gonna do our inside pockets. So let's choose the paper we're going to use. this. I saw beautiful foil paper that I wanted to use. So let's do our inside pieces. I think I'm going to go with this inside because it matches the outside. So we're going to go, and you want to cut down your paper to 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. 4 3/4. I'm going to cut down this piece from the 12 by 12 that is 3 1/4. We are going to cut this down to 8 1/4. Or maybe it was 3 3/4. Sorry. So this piece here is 3 3/4, and we're going to add this to our inside piece. Okay. Now we can add it to our middle piece. And there we go. So this piece here, we're going to cut down also to the same length, which is the 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, and then this will be our 4 1/4, 4 3/4. This part here we're going to cut down so that it fits onto our perfect 4 1/4. And this is going to be the start of our we need to cut this down to 8 1/4. I think I cut at 8 1/2. and a quarter. Okay, there we go. Now we can add these pieces. Add adhesive to this part also. Once you add adhesive, we can now add it to our book. So I'm just going to okay. And our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to now do our accordion album. So I already pulled out coordinating papers that I wanted. I think I'm going to add a few more. Let's see. I'm going to add some red in there. Okay. So we're going to cut our paper to size. We're going to do 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay. Okay, perfect. So that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to use some glue. And there you go. Okay. So here is the finished product of after we added all of our paper. Now we just need to add our closure. So, I'm gonna grab and there we go. And so now you can add your flowers if you would like. I am just going to put let's see. And there we go. And now we have our finished mini album folio. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.